Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Admiral Pegasus, and on today's show I wanted to discuss how to actually acquire faction reputation. And the reason I thought about doing this particular video is a refresher of how to do it, and the couple of changes that's happened literally within the last month is the reason, because as you see up there, yes, I am what we call tri-locked at champion. Now, I have actually got a list of questions on the trusted notepad that I have tried to place them in some sort of an order to make it easier to go through. But again, I think one or two of them may be just out of place, but don't worry, we're going to endeavour to answer all the questions that I have. So, let's start with the big one. What is faction reputation? Well, faction reputation is basically that score near the top there. Is basically accumulation of points to say whether or not you're actually a friend to a particular faction or not. Now, we have three particular factions, the primary factions as I would like to call them, which is the Federation, Klingon and Romulans. Obviously, we had additional factions added in, such as the Augments, the Rogue, the Bajoran, which is also, all three of them are also maxed, and Xborg, which again is also maxed. Now, there is the Syndicate side of things as well. You could sort of say that's sort of like a faction because it's giving you some bonuses, but we're not going to worry about the Syndicate because that's sort of like a different level of faction. Whereas the current factions that we have, the primary three, as you can see here, we have the gentleman across the way there with a little bit of text below him just saying how they feel about you. Every single faction in here has the same. But what the primary three factions have, as we call them, the FKRs, you've got recruit tokens that you can buy. You've got the Allegiance Pack, which is a recent addition of around about over a year old now, for Rhodidium, and some extra faction credits. Also, you can get some materials primarily aimed at that faction, so which means gas is more the Federation one, with the ore on the side. Also, there's going to be some advertising here if you really want to spend on them. Yeah, okay, take it as you want, that one. But primarily what you actually want these for is for the ships. Now, this is a Shipyard 26 ship, and it does unlock pretty early. I can't remember the actual faction reputation level, but it does open pretty early, and obviously you can start buying all the blueprints for these particular ships. Now, certain ships you will be able to gain blueprints for out grinding actually in the galaxy, but most of them, sorry to say, you can only get them here or in the away teams, and we'll cover that in just a moment. So here is obviously your first one for the Federation. Like I say, it's Shipyard 26. Then your next one is going to be Shipyard 28, which is going to be your Saladin. I'm not quite sure why the Antares is put first, because I'm sure the faction G3 miners were Shipyard 30. Last time I checked they were anyway. So I'm not quite sure what's happened there, but you're also going to get specific faction miners which will mine a specific material. Also, you're going to, as you can see here, science badge, you're going to get some badges towards promoting officers. So that is basically what faction reputation is. The better your reputation, the more ships that you can look at going at. Now, for me being a champion, I can go all the way down here, and this is the G4 Epic. It's expensive, I will tell you that. This thing will cost you 1,040,000. No, hang on. 1,000,000. Yeah, 1,040,000 faction credits to actually purchase through this store. There is no other way of grinding out the Enterprise A, the Tribune, which is for the Romulan epics, and the Hector, which is the Klingon epic. There's no way of grinding them out in game below level 53. Not that I'm aware of. I've not heard of any. So you do need to be pretty high up in the G5 region. But as well, you have other ships as you go further up. As you can see here, I've got the next two levels which are available. Also, what you'll find in this as well is these loyalty packs. these are pretty worth going after. You'll find some that have got at least one ship blueprint for the next level that you're going for. So for the distinguished one, I can get a blueprint for the Nova. Obviously, the Nova is spread across all 3 factions. But as well, I've got recruit tokens for that faction. I've got officer badges, and I've also got some repair speed ups. Now, there are some of these loyalties that do not give you the officer badges. They give you construction speed ups, which actually, it's not too shoddy, to be honest, but that's where they are. So now, obviously, this will be all the same for all 3 factions as well. The one thing I will strongly advise you avoiding is the elite recruit tokens. While the chest looks pretty decent, and I'm not going to lie, the chests for the elite sides are pretty decent, but the return cost for faction credits per elite recruit token, it's shit. Absolutely shit. No questions about it. This has not been sorted out. There is a prime for you as well to try and sort it out. Yeah, who wants to spend $100 to sort out that? Not me. I'll tell you that much. If you do, then obviously crack on, get the prime and have a look, see if it's actually of any benefit. But in all honesty, I did do a video comparing all the different recruit tokens, including the elite, on how many faction credits or how many tokens you're going to get. Oh, no, actually, yeah, how many faction credits just one token actually costs. And you'll find it's actually stupid amounts, that elite one. But we'll leave that one there. So that's a faction reputation. It's basically so you can go forward and get bigger and better ships as you progress through the game. Now, if you've got a different opinion of what the faction reputation is for, please drop it in the comment section down below. I love the varied opinions on what it is. So now, do not worry if you think, well, you've not covered this, that, and the other. Trust me, I most likely have covered it later on in the video, so keep watching, let's go. But if you are liking the video so far, please smash that like button. So the next thing we're going to do is look at where can you gain faction reputation. Well, believe it or not, there's actually multiple different areas where you can actually get it. Now, if we actually jump out of the faction and we jump into faction space, you'll find that your primary source is, no point looking in the G4 section, you'll find that your primary source is actually here in faction space. And what you're looking for primarily is the actual faction ships. So here we've got 2 particular targets. We've got a veteran Romulan transport and we've got a veteran Romulan patrol. Now, if we actually look at this, you'll see next to the rewards button in the toggle box, I'm not quite sure what they'd actually call that box. Please let me know down there. Yeah, cracking. But you'll see that it's got the 3 faction symbols with some arrows. The green ones means they're going to be positive reputation for a particular faction. The red ones means it's going to be a negative. But if we click on it across the top there, you are going to see. Now, as you can see, that the Romulan is massively negative. Yes, it is massive negative because obviously you're smacking Romulans. They do not like it when you attack them. This will be the same throughout the Federation and the Klingon factions as well. But as you can see as well, the other 2 factions have 2 different numbers. You've got a primary faction, which it works for. Then you've got a secondary faction. So, killing Romulans will give you a primary faction of the Klingons. The Federation will become second. Now, if you go after Federation targets, Romulans are your primary and Klingons are your secondary. But yet, if you go after the Klingons, yeah, you guessed it, the Federation is primary and the Romulans are second. But either way, you'll get the negative for smacking those, in this case, the Romulan ships. So that's where you get. So that's where you're going to get your reputation. Now, there are a couple of other locations as well. And if I just move my arse out of the way a minute, because you'll need to jump into the away team store. And I'm going to scroll a bit further down. Oh, flipping heck, it's claimed. So, undercover mission with the Romulan symbol. So this is going to give us some Romulan reputation. Now, I'm going to click on it. It is a primary of the mission. So, oh, we've got a critical, so that's even better. But what you're going to find as well is you're going to get Romulan points to gain that faction reputation as well. So now as well, you can see a bonus there of Romulus credits. Well, that's another thing that you're going to get with your reputation gains, but you'll gain that from the various other areas to gain the reputation. This is a start. This is where you're going to get it. So you're going to get missions which are going to give you faction reputation. Now, some of these faction reputations, I will tell you, are locked behind a critical success. The critical success for this particular mission is actually the Romulus credits, not the reputation. So just bear that in mind. Now I've collected that. Click that. Let me just see if another faction one is. Yeah, here we go. So here we go. We can see observing Colinar. So we go into that again. This is going to be Federation. Building up my primary health stats. Yes, so look at that key stat up there. That's going to give you the bigger boost. That's going to mean more reputation gains towards the Federation. Critical success will be the credits. But like I say, there are various missions out there that do give you reputation as the critical. It's usually the lower level missions though, which is relatively easy enough to do. So now, because we are already, I'm just going to do collective bargaining and see what we're going to get for this one. Yeah, we just got success, so yeah, okay, not even worth the effort, that one. Now, there are other places that you can gain your reputation, and I'm going to have to go into the archive here. And okay, I don't quite know what's happened here. Game's glitched out on me again, so let's try that one again. Here we go. So here we go. As you can see here, Federation mission, and if we click on the +2, as you can see, there's going to be some faction reputation here. Positive for the Federation mission here, so that's going to be the Federation positive, and negative towards the Klingons, because obviously there's usually that little thing in canon between the Federation and Klingons, despite the fact that since the Undiscovered Country, where they had the Khitomer Accords, and then the Battle of Narendra 3, which reinforced the Khitomer Accords thanks to the destruction of the Federation starship Enterprise C, obviously we see a lot of harmony between the Federation and Klingons, until Deep Space Nine, when the Khitomer Accords are rescinded by Gowron in Way of the Warrior Part 1. And then obviously they end up being reinstated a couple of years later once the Klingons get their asses kicked in Cardassian space by the Dominion. But there's Star Trek trivia for you. So you do have the missions, and again, there is missions to all three factions. So you'll get some credits, you're going to get reputation gains and losses as well. Now, there is another place to gain some reputation gains. Let's move my arse back down again. And when the game catches up, and if we go into the refinery, and actually, to be honest, I've not even finished with the away teams. No, I've not finished with the away teams yet. Because there is more to gain reputation gain. Yes, there is more to gain reputation gain. So if you scroll across the bottom here to find away teams, click on that. Boom, there you go. Reputation. All three factions. Now there is the rogue one in here as well, if you've not maxed out the rogue one. But again, this is going to work. Let's look at the Klingon, because the Klingons is the one I've just recently done. So all three at the minute for being a champion with this faction is going to give me 1.4 million, but it's going to cost me 6,000 away team credits. Yeah, best off saving them up for a G5 ship when they finally drop the G5s into this. But as well with this away team store, as you can see, you're going to get the ships as well. You can go for the blueprints. If we look at the G4 Rare, which is what the level I'm currently at, 4,150 towards getting it. But again, that's going to work towards me getting a Newton. Okay, already got it. But again, I could do it with the Pylum, or I could do it with the Coronar. Get the blueprints. So out of this, with what I've got, I could get 2 blueprints. Whoopie-doo-dah day. But these are on a 24-hour cool, well, 22-hour cooldown. So just bear that in mind. So is the faction reputation. So you've got that. Like I said, this will be all three factions. Now, where we was going before I remembered that little aspect was the Borg refinery. Yes, we're going to click on the Borg refinery, Borg Tech, and we're going to scroll across to find, first, you've got faction credits. Nice one. With me for the tier 7 Talios I've got, that's what I'm getting. But as well, I also have the Prime, which is free to play grindable. I will just tell you that. Can't remember how I did it, but it is a free to play grindable free to play. So do get it when you can. And here are the faction reputations. Now, if I click on Klingon, it is going to cost you charged nanoprobes. So just bear that in mind. If you are working on your Talios, do not do this. Or the faction credits. Get your Talios up. If there's anything primary out of this Borg tech, your Talios is far more important than reputation grind and credits. No questions asked. Make sure you work on that Talios. Once you've got the Talios up as high as you can go, then by all means start spending the loot here. But as you can see here, positive reputation for the Klingons is 2.4 million, and it's also going to give you 1.2 million negative for the Romulans and the Federation. The other two factions are exactly the same, so eventually, actually, if you buy all 3 packs, they will cancel each other out. So basically, you're not gaining any reputation whatsoever. So choose wisely. Do not do multiple faction reputation packs of all 3 factions. Maybe 2 of them at the most. Do not do all 3, because you will pretty much just cancel it out, and then you'll be wasting what? 26, 29, 39,600 charged nanoprobes. A complete and utter waste. So do not buy all 3. Just do it for the primary one that you are working towards. That would be my biggest warning with this one. Okay, now there are other places to get it, and these have been in the game since day one. The first one, if you go into the events and you look at the the events tab across the side here, daily events, you are going to find these particular 3. These are for spending resources in the game. Power steel, titanium, and dilithium. You're going to get points varied on each. So let's just call it the points to show you. There you go. There's your points. And obviously, you just need to spend resources to match the number of points required, and you're going to gain faction reputation. Out of this, I can gain here at champion if I decided to go for one. It's going to be what 2.8, 3.4, 3.5. 3.8, 3.9, nearly 4 million reputation. Nearly 4 million out of this I'm going to get. So now, I'll tell you what, we can actually find out how much it's going to give you. So let me just jump out, and we are going to click in here. And we're going to hit the contribution, and we're going to do this. Boom, 11.5 billion. Not going to miss that too much, not with 2.7 trillion. I did have over 3 trillion, but yeah, we had that stupid alliance board to do. So here we go. 3.8 million it's given me, but it's also given me the negative of 1.9 million as well. Now again, doing all 3 of these will cancel each other out. So if you are on a primary faction grind, do 1 of them. 2 at the very most if you're trying to dual grind. But never do all 3. So just bear that in mind. So now I'm not going to collect the other 2. I'll collect the other 2 after the video. Because there is one more place that we need to go, and that is in here. And if we click on daily goals, you're going to find that I've got a load of faction here. So as you can see, all my combats are asking me to kill 49s and 50s. They are all under X-Borg, so which means I'm happy I can use freebooters to actually complete these ones. And again, they're pretty much all going to cancel each other out. So I'm not going to end up positive or negative with them. Not a problem. Yes, there is other ways around it. So, and then also you've got mining as well. So just bearing in mind, if we quickly click on this, as you can see, 1.6 in the negative for the Klingons and Federation, 3.2 million towards the Romulans on this one. And this is the high level one. And I'm going to, with the mining, you're going to get some extra materials, which bunks up how much you mined as well. I need about 500,000 materials per day. So this is a perfect little bonus for me, gaining these. But again, That's your reputation, positives and negative. Again, they will pretty much cancel each other out. I think there is one where for some reason both milestones are the same instead of one being higher than the other. But I can't remember which one, and obviously I'm not going to go into that here in the video. I'll let you find that one out for yourself. So that is where you're going to be able to gain them. You've got the daily goals, daily events, the Borg refinery, the away team store and the away team's missions, and also grinding out the factions. 6 individual places to gain those reputation points. Now, if you can think of any other places that I haven't actually mentioned, please drop it in the comment section down below. Number 3, can I increase the amount of faction reputation gained? Short answer, yes, you can. There are a couple of ways of doing this. One is going to be research. There are various researches in the galaxy tree and also the away teams tree. Now, if we actually jump into one of those trees, because I do need to point out one particular thing that you do need to be aware of. Yes, my titanium is low, if you caught that one, because I did a few upgrades this morning and blasted out some titanium. But if I scroll across here, and I'll tell you what, the first one you're going to find is... You know what, I managed to find this in takes 1 and 2. There we go, is the apprentice. Again, plus and minus, you're going to gain a boost. So just bearing in mind as well, because it is for loss as well. So make sure you read the descriptions on these. So obviously mine's all maxed out. But the one that you really need to watch out for is these devotions right here. Click on the Federation devotion. Increases base plus minus Federation points using a Federation ship. So now this is actually telling you that you need to use a specific faction ship when grinding. So if I wanted to work on the Federation reputation, I'm going up against the Klingons, I need to use a Federation starship. So my Newton would actually be the best advantage. Against the working on my Romulan reputation, so I'm going up against the Federation. So I'd need to use a Romulan ship, so I could use the Valdor or my Augur. You get the point. So make sure you read these very carefully. Obviously, the percentages aren't particularly too bad as well. So there are various other ones. I will encourage you to go check them out. They are in the Galaxy and Away Teams trees only. If you can find another one in another research tree, again, please drop it in the comment section down below. I would love to actually know if I've actually missed any. Because when I actually added it all up, I was looking at a 250% bonus on reputation gains. Now, there is another one as well. And for this, I'm going to have to quickly repair the Newton for this one. Because there is a particular, if we can actually get it bloody moving, going. So are we going to click over? Yes. Now I will actually just point out as well that there is another thing with those dailies, but we'll show you that just shortly. Now obviously increasing your reputation gain when you're actually doing this. If you are a lower level player, obviously if you have any of these officers, I would strongly recommend using them. 5 of 11 as captain, because the next 2 on the bridge have no captain's ability. They're not fit for command. Harry Kim, Galanar, they're your 3 on the bridge. If you have them. Alonso Freeman and the Doctor. These are all, in one way or another, loot bonuses or faction bonuses. The loot bonuses will still work as a faction one. Let's take 5 of 11 here. That's her captain's ability. But here, loot bonus from hostiles. This will include faction reputation. It will. Then obviously let's look at Galanar. Faction reputation, and it's telling you specifically that this is faction reputation. So if you have these 5 particular officers, this is what you need to do. Now, I hear you say, but I don't have those officers. What do I do? Sadly, not a lot I can actually do you for. I can't think of a reputation boosting crew actually out there. But most players should ideally be able to at least get 5 of 11 at some point. Even if it's a tier 1, it's still going to be something. If you participated in the meta last month in October, you would have actually got Alonso Freeman out of the month-long SMS meta. He would have actually come along and give you that. And what we got here is War Stories, Positive, Faction, Reputation by 10%. That is a tier 1. Obviously, future sourcing for this officer, we haven't got a flipping clue because Scopely do not like to tell us anything. Typical of them. Hell, I can't even get out of the NDAs about what's coming in November. I really can't. I don't really want to know. But, again, reputation, as you can see, the Doctor is also loot-based, but again, that will work towards faction reputation. Now, if you are Ops 46 and above, you're going to know this already. Yeah, you need a G4 rare ship. Now, for those of you who remember my Newton video, and I meant over the G4 ships, they all have the ship's ability of increasing resources from hostiles. This will include faction reputation as well. So, by all means, if you can get them, doesn't matter which one. Pylam's the best one out of the two because of its front-facing firing pattern. Up front, but again, all 3 of them are actually good in their own way. And to be perfectly honest, I'd put this against some of the Pylums that I come across any day, including some of these level 49 players flying around with a Pylum. I'd still put this up against them, and I'd still probably win because they are actually weaker than me. So I would go against Triangle on that one. But again, yeah, G4 rare ships are the way to go. So in total, just on the ship, if I use the full reputation gain crew, I could gain around about 170% boost. 170%. It's somewhere around there. If you quickly caught the numbers of what I've put up, you'll actually probably be able to do the maths there. So they are the ones that you are going to need. But like I said, if you are a low level player, sorry, there's not a lot you can do. Now there is one more place that you can go, and it is a bit of a ball ache to actually do. The first thing is you're going to need the amalgam, and then what you're going to need to do is you're going to need an Exacom. Yes, an Exacom, and I'll tell you which one it is. If you scroll down here in the Galaxy Exacoms, you're going to need that one right at the bottom, which is the 9,900% amalgam plundering. It is a big boost, so you're going to need your amalgam with that Exacom. Yes, I'm going to just quickly tell you this full bloody loop because it's a bloody pain in the ass. Now, if we just zoom in, so you've got these systems here in Klingon space, these systems here in Romulan space. You're going to proceed to either one of these. You might want a system hop as well while you do this. And what you're looking for in here is you are looking for a survey ship. Are we going to find one in this system? No. Oh yes, we are. They're all level 31s. I will tell you, they're all level 31s, and they're going to drop this plundered cargo. Now, obviously, with the amalgam, with that Exacom, these will boost to pretty much nearly 1 million. So, or over 1 million. So, yeah, you're going to get to fill your cargo quite fast. So, you're going to get all these. Then, what you're going to do? Well, you're going to come here to the refinery, pull them in your refinery. Unfortunately, I can't actually show you because I've already claimed it today. But what you're going to get is you're going to get you're going to get those 2 items, which is one for another pull and the amalgam parts. Also, your plundered Exacoms you can get here. They're not particularly too bad in price. I'm going to get myself another 2 because I've decided to start adding this back into my day since I've gone Trilock. So quickly do that. Then I'm going to come out of that. Yeah, come out of that. Now as well, before we go any further, I shouldn't have come out of the refinery because we're going to quickly run down to the Voyager. You're going to scroll across to the Amalgam Commerce as well if you want to do this, because you will need some of this. And again, it's the Amalgam Refinery tokens you're looking for a Tier 6 Voyager. They're pretty shit, but trust me, go for the Amalgam Refinery on that one. But the one thing is that this is good for, this particular chest, is actually the amalgam pass. That's where it's all at here. Obviously the ship tracker tokens as well, because you'll get a better return here from the other place that you've got to go. So now we've done those two little bits. Where you're going to go? You're going to go over to the Officers tab. Yes, the Officers tab. You're going to click on Recruit. Look at all these bloody clicks you've got to do. You're going to find the Amalgam Special. And then you're going to claim it here. And as you can see here, you've got Faction, Reputation, Exocons. So as you can see here, I've got a 70% to all three factions. I've got 100% to all three factions. I've got ship trackers as well. Yeah, okay. But as well, I've got some negative reduction. Trust me, you do not need to worry about that reduction. That negative reduction is pretty shit. Yeah, pretty shit. But the reputation gains here, as you can see, I've got 70% and 100%. The 100% is a G5 one. The 70% is a G4. There is a 40% one, which is a G3 one. I used them all up. So, get them. And then you can add as well that to also gaining reputation. So like I said, there's many different ways to gain reputation. And trust me, by the end of it, coming into the last... how much did I do? I think it was about 34 million. I did inside 2 hours with the rep crew, all my research, these, yeah, and the Newton. Oh, as well, I deployed my Valdor and my Kelvin out to help me out with just some extra ships, and they were just working off the research and the Exocon. Managed to bang out 34 million in 2 hours. Yeah, that's called solid grinding. But those of you who do solid grinding, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, so quickly swinging back to what is Federation faction reputation for, is you obviously with your dailies, you're going to get not only the reputation points plus and negative, you're also going to get some extra goodies, which is credits. Not this particular one. I'm presuming it's in the combat. Yeah, is these repair speed ups. Now this is what as well you actually need. Again, I'm going to come into the reason why these are important out of these packs with question number 5. But again, we're going to move on to number 4. And to be perfect, we can just leave that up. I'm going to sling a screenshot over it. Is question number 4 is, can you lose reputation? Well, I've been saying it through the video already. Negative reputation, negative reputation. So guess what the answer is? Yes, you can actually lose faction reputation. Yeah, no, it's a bugger, but there it is. Now, there you go. That's a screenshot. These are all the negative levels. Yep. Maximum negative, full on enemy. So basically what that means is if you enter a faction space that you are in any way, shape or form, any of those negatives, yeah, they're going to send a hunter after you. Now that could actually be beneficial, which brings us around to question number 5. What are rep locks? Now I've not mentioned this yet. No, you're thinking locks? What? Well, we had an experiment done on the community. When the game was originally released, obviously G3 was the highest you could go, and the highest lock was respected, which is 10 million. Yeah, 10 million. Scopely decided to remove that because too many players were going for more than one faction, because ideally they wanted you to aim at one specific faction. Then they're going to do a whole series of mini factions and all sorts of, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure, I'm just sort of like guessing here what they were going to do. They were going to do a load of crap with inside individual factions. Yeah, they scrapped that idea. But as well, they tried to get rid of that lock to keep us working against a faction. Yeah, until everyone got their pitchforks out, told Scopely, no, put the locks back. In of course, the typical community way. So we got the lock re-established, and it's been there ever since, which means now players have been able to do a dual lock and a tri-lock. So now, let me just double check. Yes, I do mention them on question 8 where we discussed them, but so we do have 3 particular locks in the game. The first one, obviously, as I've already mentioned, is respected, which is 10 million. So that's your first one. Your second one is where I currently at, so I've already mentioned that again, is 1 billion, and that is called a champion. Yay! Yay! We are the champions! No, you're not. No, honest to God, no, you're not. But, well, yes, you are. You're a champion because you're watching this video. Don't forget to like the video if you want to. And subscribe to the channel as well. So, next, the third one, at current, before the release of G6, is 15 billion. Yes, 15 billion. I mean, you're sat there thinking, you lower level players thinking, how am I ever going to reach 15 billion? It's just too far away. Don't worry. You'll get there eventually. And trust me, it's not such a long path once you actually get up there. Trust me, it's not that long. But yeah, so 15 billion, and that is called Legend. Yes, it is called a Legend. So, yeah, there you go. Now, let's pull this down a minute because we don't need this. So, that's the locks in the game. Question number 6. Is it wise to go above the reputation lock at my current level? This is not an easy answer. Straight answer, in my personal opinion, depending on your level, is a no. Now, I say this because I'm looking at specific levels. The first one is if you are 39 or lower. This is the respected 10 million lock. Do not go above this. Now, I'm going to put a screenshot up here, which is the reason why you don't want to go above that at 39. That you do not want to be going any higher at 39. Well, maybe 39 you could if you want, but it depends on whereabouts in 39 you actually are and how close to going Ops 40 you are. If you're within a month or two of going Ops 40, yes, by all means, go ahead. If you're not, or you're lower than 39, hell, do not do it. Do not go above that lock. Because once you start going above that lock, as you can see from the screenshot there, is, yeah, you're going to start mining the next grade up. So, if you currently do not need G4 materials, don't do it. Do not do it. If you do start needing them, then fine, fair dues. If you want to start building up your surplus, fine. Build up your surplus, but just don't go above that one as well, unless you can hit those enemy targets as well, because you will be required to hit a higher level target. Now, where I'm at, Ops 46, I'm champion. Is it worth me going above champion at my current level? Straight answer, no. No, not till I'm at least halfway through Ops 49. And what I mean by halfway through 49 is exactly what I said for about Ops 39. Unless you're ready to go into the G5 area. Because again, as you can see, going above the next lock at champion, I'm going to be required to mine G5 materials. Okay, fine, not a problem. I can actually do that. Well, actually, my faction miners can't reach it just yet, and neither can my discovery. But once I go Ops 47, I can summon them all in there. But I can send the feature if I wanted to. Yeah, if I wanted to get my ass popped because I'm mining a material node with a miner that's not designed for it. It's actually pretty shite at it. So, not worth actually me doing. So, my best suggestion for me here being Ops 46 and anyone else in the same boat up to at least halfway through 49, stick at champion. Do not go to distinguished. Because unless you're ready to go and start mining all that stuff and killing those hostiles, which, yes, okay, fine, you can do it. You can do it. I was killing G5 ships to get the reputation locks. For the faction hunt, I was killing G5 ships to actually do it. Well, G5 hostiles at least. So, yes, you can do it with all the boosts and all the things in the game that there is nowadays. You can actually do it. But, is it recommended? No, because you'll soon find yourself shooting up higher than you can possibly actually need to go. And at minute, as you can see here, I just need to mine G4. If I go distinguished, all these are going to change to G5. Which means then I'm going to have to practice about with mining G5. But yet, hang on, hold on. I need G4 materials to finish off my Newton, to sort me Monavine out when it finally comes around. Actually, I've actually got enough materials for that. It's going to be the Monavine Pass that's going to be the bargain. But I got my Voyager to get up as far as I can. I'm going to need G4 materials for my Talios, my Defiant, my Amalgam, my Sarcophagus, because that's become relevant back in the game now with the new territory seasons, for the most part. Cerritos, Titan, Fisher. Actually, no, the Fisher doesn't need G4 materials, so that's good. But you get the picture. Oh, and don't forget the Franklin 8, which in a minute, the Franklin 8 is absolutely useless in the game. But how long is it going to be before they change Swarm Sunday and make it prevalent again? You never know. Might as well keep on top of it and make sure it's there. It's already at maximum level for where I need to be right now. So, but yeah. So I still need a lot of G4 materials. Oh, let's not forget the research I also need to do. The buildings I need to still upgrade to get to G5. So I still need to mine G4. Like I said, I'm going to get faction credits out of these as well, so that's not bad, and some extra materials. But eventually, at some point, I'm not going to need them, so I'm going to need to start stocking up for G5. So that's when I will start going distinguished and then move on. Now, if I can actually do that before 49, sorry, then fine, fair dues. But that's if I've got enough materials. Now, the best way for me to check that one is with Spock's Club. Best place to find out how much you're actually going to need. I'll be nipping on there some point, probably the day or two after recording this and posting it, where I'll actually be writing down everything that I need to go to Ops 49 or actually Ops 50. So I know for a fact how much I need in the way of materials when it comes to my buildings and research. That way I can just build up the surplus. That's what I need. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, jobs are good. Now, do I want to go, and throwing this in there, do I want to go for the G4 Epic? There's a possibility I might go for one. I might decide I've got bored of my Newton and decide I want a bigger ship. But again, that's not actually on the cards at current. I'm currently actually planning for my G5. So, now, I'm just going to quickly throw that in there. Once you've actually done the faction reputation and got to the level that you want to be at, which is actually question number 7. What should I do when I have locked my faction? Well, to be perfectly honest, right, that's going to be down to you. Once you've reached that lock, it's going to be down to you what you're going to do. Now, yes, you can continue shooting the hostiles or anything, but for me, it's like I'm going to be coming up here now and targeting these assimilated ships. Now, what are these going to give me? Well, they're going to give me my broken parts for my G4 ships, but they're also going to give me these pattern disruptors, which is for some research later on in the game for me. I've not reached this particular research yet. So there's 2 particular missions as well there. One just before Ops 49 and one just after Ops 49. But obviously I'm not going to get those missions yet. But there's no harm in me coming out here and actually building these up already. So, but obviously I'm going to get the broken parts as well, so that's going to help me with my refinery towards getting the broken parts for all my bloody specialty ships that I need, and maybe that epic, which eventually I might decide to get. So I'll be coming out here. But the one thing is as well, these do not give faction reputation positive or negative. So not a problem. It's not going to risk sending me over distinguished, because trust me, it's not such a big gap between champion and distinguished. It's actually quite small in comparison to the others. It's quite small. So you can get there pretty damn fast. So I'm just going to take these out, let the other ones cancel themselves out, and I'm going to stay pretty much quite low the rest of the way through. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be working on the other ships. I'm currently working through the Stellar stuff. So that's me. But just look about what is you need to do. Like your Stellar. Try and get that up to where you need to be, your Ops level. If you can't go any further, fine. You've reached that barrier. Put it to one side. Just do it on a Thursday like I used to do. And then deal with it when you actually unlock the level to actually go further. So don't worry about that. There's your amalgam grinding as well for if you want to raid bases. Work on that. Get that amalgam up. Yeah. There's not much else you can say about the amalgam, besides it's pretty shit. But that's my personal opinion. I don't think it's a very good base raid. It still takes multiple hours to drain a base with trillions in it. I'm sorry, that's not raiding. That's just sitting there. It was too much screen time, in all honesty. But we've got incursions coming up, so it could amalgam could be actually worth it as well in that. But again, like I say, you're still raiding for hours. Yeah, generally working on stuff like your broken pass. For those of you at Ops 39, and you're working on it, find an independent system, a low-level independent system. Let's see if we can actually find one, which, yeah, we'll be able to find one. Right, so let's have a look at these ones. No, they're still particularly too high, aren't they? Yeah, 42. I could really do with my discovery actually jump into one of these systems to make it easier for you guys to see. So let's get the discovery in. Oh, hello. Boom. I know. I'm not putting the correct crew on it. That's me. You know me. I love to put the correct crews on everything. But if we jump here, keep knocking the bloody screen. So let's get all those helps done. Right, so here she is. She's already in, and I thought I was going to have an issue there opening the system. Scroll out. Here we go. Here's a hostile. Again, it's an independent hostile, and it's going to drop you broken parts. So by all means, go to an independent system and start grinding out these parts. I cannot stress against it whatsoever. Grind them out. Get yourself ready to go into G4. So now at the minute I haven't found any G5 systems that I can enter, but they're probably actually further past where the Kelvin is right now. If we jump back out that system, as you can see, I'm going to need to be in those particularly. Now these have got simulated ships in as far as I'm aware. So hopefully they're going to drop G5 for me. I'll just grind through them, and yeah, that'll be absolutely fine for me. So but I can't gain access to that until I've completed that particular mission, which is an Ops 49 mission. Yeah, so it's going to be a while before I actually get there. I could actually make the jump as soon as possible, as soon as I've got the ore. But again, I've got a lot of research that I need to do. So that's another thing that you can do while you're waiting to actually go up, is get your research on top of your research. Because trust me, you are going to need it, especially those efficiency researches. So now the last question we got is, can I lock multiple factions? Straight answer, yes you can. No questions asked. I've already mentioned this earlier in the video. You can lock multiples. Now there are some players who will go single. Really would advise against going single. I really would, because you really limited. Now the big bonus for that is, when it comes to things like auto grinding and everything, you're going to be an enemy in two factions. So that's fine. You can put a ship out overnight with like faction hunt and just let it grind out for the night. But the one thing is, you are going to be limited, like the repair speed ups. Now this is where like dual faction grinding or tri-lock faction grinding really comes in. But again, there are pros and cons to both of them. Again, dual grinding, twice the amount of repair speed ups, because now you've got two factions to play with. But the downside is you've only got one faction you're going to be enemy against for the auto grinding side of things. If you wanted to level your ship up or work on your auto grinding for faction reputation, it's worth having at least one faction that is actually an enemy. In all honesty, looking back, I wish I'd left at least the Klingons side. But as well, another downside is you're not going to get the credits that you want. But there are other ways of getting credits. I've already showed you. Away teams, the Borg refinery. So you've got them available to get some faction credits for. Now, the biggest one is one thing that was pushed many, many years ago. Maybe not so much now, but again, I'm out of touch with that little side of things. But it's the tri-lock. Working on all three factions, one at a time, two at a time. But again, the positive side of it, credits, repair speed ups. If you caught the repair that I did earlier, 19,000 I've got. Players still around my ops level. I've got way more than me. Probably don't do as much grinding as I do, but there you go. I mean, there are going to be those around my ops server that still got a crap load of them, but they do grind their asses off, or they shoot other players, or they raid bases. So they're going to use a lot of repair speed ups, just cracking a base. So, or defending bases. Yeah, because that could be an issue. So having these is going to be an absolute godsend. Again, for the Klingons here, I'm going to get 50. So 50 times 3 for the Trilock. That's 150 each time. And trust me, I'm not using 150 in worth of speed ups, but now I've got access to things like hour ones, because obviously my ships can take anywhere up to 10 hours to repair. And most of my repair efficiencies are as good as I can get them. I think there's 1 or 2 I've got left to do, but that's about it. So there is that. Now the downside to Trilock is you have no faction to auto grind against. The only ones that you can actually use is the new Texas hat systems. Again, you're going to need a fairly powerful ship to actually auto grind there. I sent the Newton in earlier, only managed to do what, probably about 20 kills. Whereas if I'd have put it in faction space in a decent level system, so like a 46 system, I would have probably got about 50 kills. But there it is. Or the other place is actually augment space as well. But again, doing the grind in there, yeah, it's good for leveling your ships up with ship XP. But again, it's when you're looking at the G4 ships, it's extremely small, extremely crap. It's not worth it. G3 ships are probably far more beneficial there. But again, some players will just stick things like the Fisher out or their G4 ships and just let them auto grind. But again, they'll be doing that for like weeks on end just to do one level. Yeah, that's how bad it is. And like I said, the other one is the Texas hat up here as well. So obviously Trilock does have a lot of benefits, but again, it's also got that big negative. You're limited on where you can do auto grinding. So you basically a lot of screen time in actually grinding out the faction reputation for starters, and also ship XP as well. So that's another thing you do need to think about. There are various ways around this. It is a strategy game. Let's not face it, mince words. It is a strategy game. So you do need to plan out what you do. And as a free-to-play player, I would strongly advise planning ahead. And I'm not talking the next level or the level after that. I'm talking 5 levels ahead at least. You need to be planning where you need to go. The good one for that is going to be Spock's Club. That will help you plan. But as well as looking at Spock's Club, is work out what you can do. How many hostiles can you kill? What's your average take home with reputation? Yes, it's a lot. There is a free-to-play player in the mid-50s, decades. He's got spreadsheets galore, apparently. So, just bear that in mind. So, anyway, that's everything for reputation grinding. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I know it's a pain in the ass. Wish there was a better way. There is actually a better way of gaining reputation if you have the pockets. Yes, I'm going to say the pockets. Or better yet, whip out the good old MasterCard and let's have a quick, see if we can find the packs. Not that one. Not, maybe they're going to be in here. Research packs, maybe. Because there is, oh yeah, there are a couple of primes that can help you towards your reputation grind. I forgot to add them earlier in the video. Where is it? Oh, I didn't want that one. That's the X-Bog. I've actually bought one of them before. It's actually not a bad pack. Here it is. Yeah. Oh, no, that's the recruit side of things, isn't it? That's the recruit side of things. That's for those shockingly crap. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to find it, but I'll tell you what, we'll jump over to the research its actual self, which can help you with your reputation grinding. But again, like I say, you will need to be looking for that particular prime, because it is a prime. It's a multi-layered prime as well. It is going to cost you a pretty dollar or two, or pretty penny or two, or whatever your currency actually is. And yes, it's here in the galaxy tree. So what's this one? Increases faction reputation tokens gained from daily faction reputation. This is a single one so far, but again, as you can see, it's got a special currency with it. Yay! So you've got that one, so basically doubling what you get, but it's at the base level. So just bear that in mind. Refinery, recruit. Here it is. This is the one for grinding. Increases reputation gains and losses from hostiles and grants a daily free bundle containing reputation and credits in the faction store. Reputation and credits increase with research level. So like I said, this is a multi-level prime. It is G6, so it is eventually grindable when G6 releases. But unfortunately for most of us in there who are not ready to go to G6 yet, who are not prepared to spend, what was it, $600? Something like that, I think it was. Around $600 just for this particular Federation one. Klingons is a 600, Romulus is also 600, $1,800. Yeah, quite a lot of money. But again, it's worth it. I'm not going to lie, it is worth it. But yeah, for low level players, it would have been an absolute godsend. But yeah, we'll have to see what G6 also brings and whether or not it's going to be worth it. But anyway, that's it for now. I'll leave you with that one. It's not very often I plug a prime as a way to do things, but if you want to, there it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'm Admiral Pegasus. This is the Pegasus Show. Thank you for joining me. Stay safe, live long and prosper, and I shall catch you on the next video. Goodbye.